And I'm back, and today I've got something a little different again. We had a bird strike on one of the windows at the camp. Right here, this window has been broken out, and it was a partridge, a grouse. It went right in, and actually, unfortunately, the bird died inside the cabin. What happens is if you leave the curtains open, and especially there was a window on the other side with the curtains open, you know, the birds look at it and think that they can get through. It hit pretty hard. I've cleaned up the glass in there, and I'll show you the inside in a moment. But yeah, we had a strike right here on this pane a couple of years ago. Okay, let's take a look inside. Yeah, and usually keep the windows open somewhat, you know, so people can see in and see that there's nothing here to steal, really. But see, with the windows open like that, a bird hit there, and I'll show you over here. And these curtains were open the other day too. So the bird must have thought, you know, it was a clear shot through, just like it is, you know, between branches of trees or something, you know, and that's how they navigate through the woods. They can fly all, you know, all these tortured paths through the trees and without any consequences. But when it's a pane of glass, bang. So basically it hit there and it shattered the window all through here. And we found him right there where that little spot is on the floor. He was dead there. He'd been dead probably a day or two. So what I'm going to do from now on, you know, is I'm not going to leave these curtains open both sides, and I'm not going to leave it open that much. I'm going to try and, you know, close it a bit. I usually like to leave the curtains open a little bit so that if someone wants to look in, they can look in and know that it's not, you know, bars of gold in here stacked up. You know, I found that if you close all the curtains off in a cabin, you know, in the wilderness, people are just curious a lot of times, you know, and the thieves, of course, are going to go in anyway. But, you know, the thief might not break the door down if he looks in and he figures there's nothing to take, right? So that's one of my strategies. I don't know how that's worked. You know, I don't really have the statistics to back that up, but I usually like to leave them have a bit of a peek in there. Okay, so I've got a container here to put the broken glass in. And I got a knife like this. There's some old putty in there, I think. This is a pretty old window. I don't want to spend a fortune on it, but I did find, I took the measurement, and this is 12 by 16 inches. And just for fun, I looked on Amazon, and didn't they have plexiglass? And I ordered it exactly that size. It came 12 by 16, so hopefully it fits. Because I know that getting glass cut, you know, is sometimes, like, this is a pretty remote place, you know, where this cabin is. It's not a big city here or anything, and it's hard to get glass cut these days. You know, I mean, it used to be more common when people had, you know, these old single-pane windows in their homes, but now very often, you know, if you break a pane of glass in your house, it's a double pane, and it's you know, it's probably going to be ordered and arrive as a module in a frame, you know, that you can change out like that. So getting glass cut isn't as easy anymore. A lot of the automotive glass shops will cut glass, just flat glass too, right? So that is an option. So I guess I could have checked there, but I just thought to check Amazon, and sure enough, for a reasonable price, actually. They come in a set of two, and I'll show you that here in a moment. 2 panes of plexiglass, 1/8 thick. And so we'll get that putty out of there. There's another thing I'm going to show you here too in a minute, is how to hold the glass in. I don't know if anybody out there has changed their own glass panes before, but there's a couple of little things that help. So there's a recess there exactly the size of the pane of glass, and if you don't get all the stuff out of it, the new pane may not fit exactly. Okay, so what holds the glass in, besides the putty, that's more of a trim, are these little points. And right there, that's called the glazing point. Most hardware stores do carry glazing points. I'll show you a package that I found. They just are little bits of metal that go in around the perimeter of the glass to hold it into the wooden frame. And Let's see, there's another one here. And that's the other thing, if you don't get those out, the pane isn't going to sit back where it's supposed to. Now, I mean, these windows are in pretty tough shape, but it's an old camp, right? So it's okay. I have been keeping an eye out for a new window for here, if I can find one at a reasonable price, but I haven't seen one yet, so. Okay, so here's these panes of plexiglass that came from Amazon. 2 in a pack. Let's just see if they're gonna fit. That looks good on the width. And the length, that's perfect, look at that. I don't know if I'll get it out of there. Okay, that looks good. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, it's a pretty handy way to get it, especially when they happen to stock the exact size I needed. And it comes with a film, you just peel it off. Okay. Uh-oh. I hope it's not one of those that comes off in 1,000 different pieces. It's pretty cold today, so that's probably not the temperature to peel this in. Let me see here. That might be okay if I go slow. Or it might not. Okay, so it's pretty cold out today and that paper's not peeling very well. And so I've got it in the car here. I've got the defrost on. I got it on the hottest setting. So I'm just going to warm up that plexiglass a bit and hopefully it peels a bit better. Yeah, I brought it in the car because it wasn't peeling well. It wasn't peeling well. So here it is. Hopefully that'll make a difference. Yeah, I think the heat's making a difference. Look at that. I think that is making a difference. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. That's the trick. Okay, now the other side. Okay, that heating it up really made the paper come off easier. Welcome to the Great White North, where a little heat helps everything. Just gonna put them like so. Just like so. Let's see. Yeah. Just a flat screwdriver will work usually. I just don't want to scratch the plexiglass. It's easily scratched with, see. There, that's good. Oh! I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna edit out the part where I jam my finger. Okay, in the old days they used to use putty here, right? And I could still use putty, but I don't have any putty. I have some caulking though, so I'm going to use caulking. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of masking tape on the window. Oh yeah, that's cold too. Oh, you hate tape this doesn't undo like it's supposed to do. Don't you hate that? Look at that. Look at this stuff. Come on. Over to the edge. Atta boy. Okay. Now I'm just gonna tape off a little bit around the window like that. I'm just gonna go around the four sides of it. We're not slaves to convention here at Everyday Projects. We're willing to try something new, something different, a different method. Now, let's see, a little bit of tape there. And just cover the edge, that. And you're not going to believe I came in here without a caulking gun. I'm going to look and see if there is one here, but I did bring a tube of caulking, but the caulking gun is safely back at the house on the workbench. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I looked in the cabin and there was a caulking gun here. That's good. So we're going to look professional after all. So we're going to cut our tube off on a bit of an angle, right? Everyone knows that. And then, oh my God, this one doesn't have it. There's actually a little, usually on most of these caulking guns, there's a little piece of wire here, and it pivots out, and it's to puncture the tube with, but this one doesn't have it. I thought I was going to show you something there, but no. I don't think I'll be able to show you much here today. Yeah, okay, so let's just pretend for a second, okay? We do some pretending here on everyday projects. So let's pretend that I do have one of these caulking gun that have the little piece on it. And you'll just see it'll just be a little piece of wire that sits on there like that. And I don't know why this one doesn't have it, but almost all of them have it. And all you do is you just turn it out like that, and before you put your tube in there, you just poke it, and it punctures it. But for today, we have option number 2, which is a nail. Oh, is it long enough? I think it is, yeah. Okay. Then you just, we'll put that in there. All right, then we're just gonna put a little bead of caulking around here, and I'm gonna put on some plastic gloves because I'm gonna run my finger into it. And just let me get to that. Okay, let's try this here. Oh, it's brown caulking. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Fill it up. That works for me. It's going to be painted eventually anyway. There it goes. Like so. Yeah, we're not slaves to convention here on everyday projects. We're willing to cut new ground and try new things. Now let me see what I can do with that. Let me see here. That's not that pretty, is it? Let's see. You're supposed to have a wet finger. Oh, that tastes awful. Okay, let's just see here. That's not the greatest. Okay. I got a little bit too much caulking on there. What do you figure? Maybe that's the only part I'll show in the video. I'll show that little bit right there in the video, and I won't show you any of the rest of it. I'll edit that out, of course. Now let's see. Now just remember, it's going to be painted. And this is paintable caulking. I made sure of that. I knew it was brown. I knew it was going to be brown. I was just trying to surprise you into thinking I didn't know it was brown caulking. All right, I'm going to let that set for a few minutes, and I'm going to try and take that tape out. All right, let's just try and take that tape out of there and see what kind of mess I can make. For real. Not bad. Not bad. Will it make the corner? Oh, almost made the corner. Let's see here. I know the purists are going to have a field day in the comments telling me, no, you can't do that. And it's not a how-to, it's a how I did it. So if it helps, good. And if it doesn't help, good. But I think it'll work. Let's see here. Here we go. Yeah, that's coming pretty good, actually. The worst of it's thinking it has to be perfect. That's what gets most people down. That's what ruins most people's projects, is they think it has to be perfect for everyone else to see. Well, I don't think so. It doesn't always have to be perfect. Sometimes it can be imperfect, and you can still be happy with it. If you're happy with it, that's the main thing. Now, yeah, it's not bad. I like to do things neat and tidy. I do. But sometimes I've been known to deviate. Now, once that's hardened completely, I can go around it, gently, just touch it a little bit, and then once it's painted, it's going to be as good as anything else that's on this window. So I think we're okay. But anyway, that's one way to put a window in. You may or may not want to follow my directions exactly, but anyway, that's what I did to fix it. Those plexiglass sheets were $19 for the pair, delivered from Amazon. So I thought that was okay. And I mean, it came in the exact size, 12 by 16, right? So yeah. And you can see what happens actually with plexiglass. There was some type of bug spray or something that went on this other one a couple of years ago, and it stained it a bit. So you got to be a little more careful with plexiglass than you do with regular glass, but And that fixes it. Now the window is sealed up for the year. So what would I advise about trying to keep birds from hitting the window? Well, try and keep the curtains closed, and that way they don't see it as a path through, especially if they can see through the other window, like you can see through here. See that other window open over there, you know, a bird flying through might think, wham, I can get all the way through there. But so I'm going to keep the curtains drawn closer from now on. And like most of my projects, you know, things look better from far away. So look at that pane of glass. Look how good that looks from over here. Look at that. Look how good that is. Isn't that good? That's fixed. Yeah. If you like this kind of content, bare bones, the raw. If you like this kind of raw content, you know, is I don't edit out any of the stuff, my mistakes. They're all in here for you to see. But this is the real world. This is out here in the real world. Okay, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like this kind of content. If you haven't already subscribed, I'm here every week with something I'm doing, and I'd love to have you along. So just click subscribe. It's absolutely free, and we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects. Bye for now.